Hello everyone, welcome to True Crime and Tarot. I am Natalie and today's case is about two young girls. Their names are Shausha Latine Henson and Shaina Ashley Kirkpatrick. I do apologise if I can't say their names correctly. It's just the way I speak in general. So I have done some tarot cards on this case and a lot of research have gone into this case also. If there's anything that's missing that I have mentioned or is a little bit incorrect, then please comment in the comment box below. But everything I have got is actually from online resources. I just want to make a disclaimer that if anyone is to be rude or say anything disrespectful on this video, you will be reported and you will be taken off this channel. Another disclaimer then I want to say is I've got all this research from online with different resources that I've looked into also, and that I am not going to be in any way going to be disrespectful to anyone that is involved in this case. Even if it seems like I do apologise, I don't. So I'm going to start off now with saying about these little girls and then go in depth then, and then doing the tarot card side to them. So the first one is Shausha Latine Henson. She was born on January the 26th, 2001. Her place of birth was in Oregon, and she has brown hair and brown eyes, and she was an infant at the time of her disappearance. She has a red mark on top of her head, and also they were last seen, her and her sister Shaina were last seen with their mother on April the 4th, 2001, when they was en route to Sacramento, California at the time. On April 29th, 2001, the body of their mother was found outside of Fernley, Nevada, while the whereabouts of the two young girls remains unknown till this day. If there's any information on this case or any tips, then please contact the Portland area field office. Shaina Ashley Kirkpatrick was born on April 27th, 1997. Her birthplace was also in Oregon as well. She has blonde hair, blue eyes. She was 2'6" at the time of her disappearance. Shaina has a triangle-shaped birthmark on the back of her head. Shaina Ashley Kirkpatrick and her sister Shausha Latine Henson was last seen with their mother. Okay, so it is under a non-family abduction. It is disguising characteristics, brown hair, brown eyes. Shausha suffered from a broken collarbone when she was born. Shausha and Shaina's mother planned to travel to the British Columbia, Canada with Kimyala's friend Christina Meyer and a man Meyer introduced as her husband Curtis. Stephen Kirkpatrick, the two girls' father and Kimyala's boyfriend, told authorities that he and Kimyala never met Curtis prior to April 2001. Mayer's husband was actually Frank O'Hoyring, I think that's how I pronounce it, who was a fugitive from Missouri. O'Hoyring was wanted after allegedly attempting to murder his former wife. O'Hoyring then reportedly led a group of Satanists in Missouri, and Meyer was allegedly a member. It has been established that Kimyala and her daughters spent the night of April the 5th at the Shasta Lodge in Redding, California, with Meyer and O'Hoyring. They apparently stopped in Sacramento, California during the day to allow Kimyala to pick up her birth certificate. Meyer and O'Hoyring may have convinced her that she needed the document to enter the Canada. There had been no sign of the children since that time. O'Hoyring and Meyer were discovered at the rest area in Collier County, Florida, on April the 20th, 2001. Maya had been killed by a gunshot wound to the temple. Oyring was seriously wounded by a gunshot wound to the head. He died at a hospital shortly after. The authorities determined that Oyring shot himself and Maya in a murder-suicide. Oyring then left behind letters detailing the couple's plan to steal Kimyala's birth certificate. Maya had assumed Kimyala's identity in Las Vegas, Nevada, shortly after they met Kimyala and her children in Oregon. Kimyala's remains was discovered near Nixon, Nevada on April 28, 2001. She had been beaten in the head and shot to death. Authorities believe that Oyring and Maya was responsible for her murder. An extensive search of the area produced no clues as to the whereabouts of Kimyala's daughters. There was also some tests that was done on the blood-stained hatchet found in Maya's and Oyring's car. The blood was identified as Kimyala. Neither shausha or shaina's blood was present. Authorities believe that Maya and Oyring travelled to Florida alone during April 2001. Motel receipts indicate that the children was not accompanying them at this time. Shaina and Shausha's car seats have never been recovered and their birth certificates are remaining missing. So authorities do not know if Maya or Oyring armed the children or sold them to other individuals. Shaina and Shausha's cases remains unsolved to this day. The investigation agency is Portland Police Department and their number is 503-823-0044 and the Federal Bureau of Investigation Portland office is 503-224-4181. And this is where I decided to come into it a bit, and I thought, now I want to do something for their family. I want to try and get them to the bottom of where these little girls are. So being a medium and being a tarot reader, I wanted to try and knuckle down and try and focus upon this case in depth. And I asked some questions and I thought, right, number one, the first question is obviously going to be where the two little girls. Two, who's involved in the disappearance of these two little girls. Then 3, where are these little girls to this day? And then 4 then is what is the final outcome to the case. So that's what I focused upon for a while, and to see what the answers was to this question. So the first one was then what happened to shausha, latine, henson, and the first card that came out then was the 3 of Swords card. So there was a lot of sadness and crying and a lot of arguments and feeling hurt at this time and upset. Then there was the 6 of Pentacles. So there was someone who was there to help and support, trying to be kind, but there was someone who was hired to come in as of some type of assistance. Reverse Fool then was the next one. There was a need to get away. There was some recklessness and being very impulsive, and a lot of frustration and stupidity and taking on responsibilities. There was some unfinished business that was involved. Reverse 4 of Pentacles then. There was a lot of risks and a lot of gambling, and there was also some type of jealousy that was involved. Reverse Temperance then. So there was some inappropriate behaviour, a lot of recklessness, and there was also a lot of consequences that was involved also. Then we had the 7 of Wands. So there was a lot of challenges, there was a lot of rivalry, there was also some fighting involved, harassment and being caught off guard. 9 of Swords. There was feelings of intimidation, guilt, remorse, breaking down and can't think straight, and there's a lot of stress and a lot of worry. Then there was the Sun. So the Sun card is there was a lot of innocence, there was a lot of joy, and there was a lot of contentment, and there may have been some horses or some farmland or some type of greenery that was involved, like the sense of innocence. Queen of Wands then was the next one. So there was a mature female that was very strong and outgoing. She had a lot of adventurousness about them, very fearless, and had a lot of ambition and friendly, very protective and daring, that was involved in some way. Five of Swords. So there was a lot of aggressiveness and aggression, and there was conflict, there was abuse, and there was antisocial behaviour involved. There was rape or murder that happened, or both. Reverse King of Wands. There was a very immature male who was very forceful, controlling, that had a hot temper, and they were very, very nasty. Next card then was the Lovers. So there was a couple that was involved. So there was lovers that was involved in some way, that had some type of infatuation. Hermit. There was a lot of loneliness and being involved within the wrong people, in a wrong crowd, and laying low from the world and being outcasted. Reverse Nine of Cups. There was a cover-up. Someone was very immature and also being let down and unhappy. There was things that was being overlooked. I then asked the question about what happened to Shaina Ashley Kirkpatrick, and we had the Eight of Swords. So there was a lot of fears, a lot of terror, being a victim and being silenced in isolation, and there's a sense of being very hopeless. Knight of Cups. Shaina got approached by a man who was very religious or spiritual, that was unpredictable, that was a ladies' man who seemed very sympathetic and a gentleman that acted on his own feelings. Star card. There was hope and freedom and the sense of calm after the storm. Reverse Ten of Cups. There was a quarrel that ended in a separation, causing an empty nest. There was poor parenting and then plain happy families. There was children at risk and being isolated. Reverse Six of Swords. There was hopelessness and around trouble and a lot of conflict. Reverse Hierophant. There was to be a change of religion or some type of religious goings on, something like a cult or religion, something of that nature that was going on. Reverse Two of Pentacles then. There was financial dealings and overwhelming demands and being all over the place. I asked then who was involved in Shaina and Shausha's disappearances, and we had the first card, which was reverse Seven of Swords. So there was illegal activities that was going on. There was someone that was very cunning, not trustworthy, that has no conscience and also can't face their consequences. We then had the World card. They was very proud of themselves. Some of them may have graduated, and there was a lot of being around family and around people, like a gathering. Reverse then Queen of Swords. So there was a female that was very obsessive, very vindictive, malicious, that seeks punishment, that had some fertility issues and was very private and kept herself to herself. Reverse Two of Wands. There was fears of making the wrong decision and approaching things in a wrong manner. Page of Wands. There was travel and risk taking. A child or children was carefree and beautiful, a lot of freedom and curious on an adventure. I then asked, where is Shaina? We had reversed empress. So there's a female that is a widow that was involved in the scandal, that could not have children, that is very overly protective and manipulative and needy, very uncaring, that may have been someone's absent mother. Reverse strength. There's someone who's a coward that had depression and is very cruel to animals. There was a lot of controlling from this person. The devil. There was a lot of obsession and jealousy and controlling. A lot of being trapped. Someone was also being a bit dominating. There's also violence between two people. Reverse ace of swords. There was a lot of confusion and a lot of insults and delays. Reverse wheel of fortune. So there was a lot of struggles and things kept fizzling out and getting out of control. Reverse knight of pentacles. There's a male that was very possessive that changed career. There's also some type of greenery and also mountains where Shaina is. I then asked, where is Shausha? And we had the 10 of swords. She has passed away. There is a sacrifice that was an assault and it was a vicious, violent attack. 10 wands. Not far from buildings and homes is where she remains. There is a huge weight on her body. She had also been taken advantage of. Magician. So this is basically like the occult. There's a conjurer, a magician, an occultist, male that took action that was very, very powerful. Reverse 7 of pentacles. There's cutbacks and money issues and a lot of laziness. Reverse page of swords. There's a cold, argumentative person that's malicious, aggressive, paranoid, that was indiscreet and also had or has suicidal tendencies. 5 of pentacles. There's parent struggle or homelessness and also poverty. I then said, what is the final outcome to be for Shaina and Shausha's case? And we had reverse ace of pentacles. So there's to be some corruption and delays and a lack of money to pursue forward in the case. We then had the reversed 3 of wands. There's a lot of delays and setbacks. High priestess. There's secrets and learning more and also in touch with the spiritual side, the occult, looking into people's motives. The last one then is the 8 of cups. So there's some people that is walking away and moving on from the case, and there's someone that is to be facing some facts about the case, and some are to be taking a break and to be traveling. Okay then, so that is the research and also that is the tarot side of the cards. Tarot cards to the side of the case, sorry, I meant to say. I really, really hope that the family, the police and someone can, you know, find these 2 little girls. No matter how hard and difficult it is going to be, let's just try and get some awareness for this family. Let's try and get some justice for these 2 little girls and for the mum as well. Let's just try and, in general, let's just try and get everything, all this type of, it's hard to explain, you know. It's a very, very difficult type of case to be working on, and I'm just hoping now that they find these 2 little girls. I know deep down one day, even if it's good couple of years from now that they will be found. Let's just hope it'll be now rather than later. How can I say this now? With a lot of gathering of light, love, let's just bring this all into like a big family of true crime. Let's try and get this everywhere. Let's try and get this video. So something needs to be done. This case, let's try and raise a little bit of money for this case, because like I said, in here, you know, is not going to be enough financial, like the money side to it, to pursue moving forward. Let's try and get these little girls home, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, being a parent myself, I couldn't even imagine what that family have gone through for all this long time. It's so sad, it's so heartbreaking. But that is the case of the two little girls, and yeah, this just get this awareness up and running. Until next time, everyone, I see you all on my next cases. Love and light from me to you all. Bye.